Ever listen to a podcast and wish you could just, like, download the info straight to your brain?
Okay.
Maybe that's just me. But wouldn't it be wild if learning complex stuff was as easy as tuning into our favorite show?
Well, that's a fascinating thought, and it's
Well,
something that the team at Google might be onto with their latest project, NotebookLM.
NotebookLM. Yeah, we're diving deep into that today. So for our listeners, imagine this.
Mm-hmm.
You feed it your files, like research papers, those crazy long reports, anything really.
Meeting notes. Yeah.
Exactly. And it doesn't just summarize it all. It turns it into a conversation between experts.
It's like having those experts at your beck and call, ready to hash out the details of whatever you throw at them.
And here's the really cool part. Ready for this? One of NotebookLM's best features is this audio overview thing. You upload your files, and it spits out a mini podcast, like with different AI voices, all from your stuff.
It's almost like having a custom-made radio show, except it's all generated from the information you need to digest. Pretty wild, right?
It really is. Now, what I found really interesting was the team behind all this.
Ah, yes. The masterminds. Well, you have Riza Martin, who's got this incredible mind for product development. Like, she comes from that fast-paced startup world.
And then you've got Steven Johnson, on the other hand, who's like the guru of understanding information. Seriously, the guy's written multiple books on it.
The perfect blend of expertise for this kind of project. And in fact, Riza Martin has talked about how voice is changing the way we interact with technology.
Making it more engaging, more human,
Exactly. Because, let's face it, we all talk to our devices now.
all the time. It
Yeah.
feels more natural, you know?
It does. And this whole shift towards voice, it's not just a coincidence, right? I mean, look at the rise of podcasts and
That
audiobooks.
people love listening.
Exactly. We're rediscovering this love for the spoken word. It's like, it feels more personal, more like a conversation than just reading text.
Totally. So we've got this brilliant team. They've got this vision.
Mm.
But what can you actually DO with NotebookLM?
Okay, so picture this. You've got a mountain of information in front of you. Could be reports, articles, studies, whatever.
The stuff of nightmares.
Right. But instead of just getting a dry summary from, say, a typical AI, you can actually ask Hey NotebookLM questions about the material. Like, imagine a super smart study buddy who's already read everything.
Okay, so it's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
Uh-huh.
I like where this is going.
Exactly. And it can do more than just answer questions. It can pull out the key takeaways, create those nice, concise summaries for when you just need the gist.
Which, let's be honest, is most of the time these days.
All right. But the real game changer, that audio overview we talked about. Imagine uploading a dense research paper, and instead of spending hours trying to decipher it,
Please, anything but that.
you get a 10-minute podcast episode. It breaks down all the main arguments, uses different voices to keep you hooked, like distilling information down to its purest, easiest to digest form.
So it's not just about summarizing. It's about totally changing how we interact with information. It's like they knew how much we all love podcasts. It really makes you wonder, like, how does it even do that? Turning a boring research paper into a podcast.
It's not exactly magic, although it can feel like it. It's about this thing called Content Studio.
Content studio. Sounds fancy.
It's pretty cool, actually. Think of it like the control center behind the scenes of the audio overview. It's not just about the AI voices reading out loud. It's about how that information is, like, arranged and presented to make it actually interesting.
So it takes those algorithms and makes them, speak to us literally.
You got it. Content Studio uses this really powerful language model, Gemini 1.5 Pro, I think it's called.
It's a mouthful.
Right. It's Google's latest and greatest, apparently. And it uses this model to really dig into the uploaded material, pick out the important themes, and then structure them in a way that, makes sense to our ears.
So like having a personal editor, but for sound?
Exactly. And get this, it doesn't just read the information, it tries to make it conversational. Like a back and forth, not a lecture.
Like a good podcast. Which kind of makes me wonder, why is Google putting so much effort into this?
Well, I think it comes back to their whole mission, right? Organizing information and making it accessible.
Yeah, they've been about that since the beginning.
Exactly. But it's different now, There's just so much information out there that it's not enough to organize it anymore. We need tools to help us make sense of it all.
We're drowning in information. We need a life raft.
And NotebookLM with this audio overview might just be that life raft, or at least a really good start.
Powered by AI, of course.
Naturally. But here's the thing. It seems like Google's really trying to make this work for people. They're constantly getting feedback, making changes based on what users actually need.
Which isn't always a given with new tech, let's be honest. It's great that they're taking that approach, really listening to users. But it makes you think, this NotebookLM thing, it's not just some random tool, right?
Definitely not.
It's like a whole new way of thinking about how we learn.
It really does feel like a glimpse into the future of like information consumption. And, Riza Martin has talked about this multimodal future for NotebookLM.
Multimodal. Okay, now you're just using big words.
Sorry. It basically means being able to feed it all sorts of stuff, not just documents. Like, what if you could upload emails, social media feeds, even videos?
Wait, so instead of just text, it could handle everything. That's kind of mind-blowing.
Right. And the output could be way more than just summaries or podcasts. Imagine getting results that are totally customized to what you need, like upload a business report, get a song that summarizes the key findings.
A song. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Or feed it data from a research project and it writes you a poem that captures all the main points.
All right, now that's just showing off. But seriously, this multimodal thing, it's like having a personal creative assistant, but for information.
Exactly. It's taking information and turning it into art. Imagine the possibilities for education. Like, what if students could learn about history through songs or plays generated by AI based on their textbooks?
That'd be way more fun than my history classes.
Right. But it's not just about making it fun. It's about making it work for everyone. Some people learn best by listening, others by seeing. This could really change things for people who don't learn well with traditional methods.
So what you're saying is NotebookLM could be the first step to a future where information is not just easy to find, but also tailored to how we each learn best.
Exactly. And that's really exciting, but also a little bit unknown, right? Like, what happens when AI can personalize our information to this degree? What does it mean for how we work, how we learn, how we even think?
Big questions. Well, listeners, it sounds like we're on the edge of a whole new world of information. One where AI doesn't just organize things, it makes it an experience. Who knows what amazing things are coming next? This is definitely something to keep an eye on. Thanks for diving deep with us.